yes, welcome to the Gaming News Podcast, where we talk about gaming news, which I'm sure there's some. Um, but oh no, we do the news first now.
Yeah.
Oh no. All right, then give me talk about something not video game related for like 2 seconds.
Sure. I'm going to talk about how Lingual just jumped in with you can also follow Glitch Game Apparel on TikTok. Well,
Hell yeah.
let's do it, Mason. Let's follow them. Oh, that's cool. They already liked our post. That was nice of them.
Oh, nice. Oh, actually, it's been a while since we've done gaming news, hasn't it? It's been like before PAX East since we did gaming news, I think, maybe.
Yeah, we haven't done gaming news in a hot sec. But that's okay.
Well, that's good. Hold on. Let me do some things real quick.
You do what you need to.
Okay. This is not.
It really threw you off that we weren't we're starting with news.
I just,
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk about the games I've been playing. I forgot about this part of it.
That's all right.
The part where we talk about new. Oh, yes. Okay. So the last time we did a video game podcast was with Pauline. It was me and Pauline and not you.
Oh, okay.
And
that's why it feels like forever.
Yes. We talked about E3 being canceled. But what we didn't talk about, which happened like, hello? Hold on.
Just leave it.
Just leave it?
Yeah. You look fine.
Okay, thank you.
I am going to do this, though. You keep talking.
Oh, yeah, do whatever you need to do. This is kind of old news at this point, but it happened literally like minutes after Pauline and I, not minutes, but like a couple hours after Pauline and I recorded the last video game news podcast. Sonic the Hedgehog is dead.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Can you give me more news on what the hell's going on with Sonic?
Oh, yeah, so for April Fool's Day, they released a game. They released a trailer for a game called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, no, I did hear about this. He's not actually dead, right? They refer to it as like he went missing or he got hurt or something.
He is pronounced legally dead, but he is alive at the end of the game.
Okay.
He was like, it was like one of those things where it's like he was like drugged, unconscious, and so he was like technically dead or whatever. Basically, this game, it's real, and they made it, and it was totally free, and it's one of the best Sonic games I've ever played. And it's a murder mystery where Amy invites all of the Sonic people onto a train, and the train is she's going to have like a murder mystery themed birthday party. But then
yeah,
someone actually tries to murder Sonic the Hedgehog.
Damn.
And
I bet I can guess who.
I bet you can't, but
Knuckles.
it was not. Well, I won't spoil. It wasn't Knuckles, but I won't spoil who it was because it's a genuinely good video game. And Eggman's daughter had a cameo, which is really cool.
That's cool.
Put her in more stuff. She's very neat. She's from the new. Remember, I was talking about that Sonic game that I like completed before I actually completed it. And
yes,
like,
yeah.
She's from that, so she's a very new character, but she's really cool. And she had a small cameo in this, which I guess is not a spoiler. But yeah, it was cool. Everyone had like cute little like period appropriate outfits for like the game they were playing. I don't know. It was cool, and it's like really neat that they made it. I was literally playing Terra Nil, game you and I talked about before.
Okay. I believe you.
It's a game with the planting and you terraform Earth and they
Yeah.
I was literally playing that. They announced this game, and they were like, "Also, it's free." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna play this now," and then I did.
Very cool.
So Sonic's dead, for real. there was a new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, the new Breath of the Wild game. It has been confirmed that Matt Mercer, Dungeon Master for Critical Role, is doing the voice of Ganondorf.
That's cool.
This
not
is
quite your pick, but that's okay.
Not quite my pick. Well, you know, funny you say that because I was about to be like, well, that's a live action version of the blah, blah, blah. Matt Mercer has played Ganondorf in live action before for a skit.
Was that the faux trailer for a live action Zelda? Was that him in that?
No,
Okay.
that was some dumb bullshit IGN April Fool's joke from 1,000 internet years ago.
Yeah.
No, I think it was a Funny or Die sketch. It's also really old, but Matt Mercer, famously, this is not the first time he's played Ganondorf. The first time he's played Ganondorf officially. But yeah, it's exciting. Someone pointed out that this is the first time in, I think, 16 years that Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf have been all together in a, mainline Zelda game. Obviously, they were in those Hyrule Warrior games together. And they were in Smash Brothers, obviously. But the last time there was, a mainline game with all three of these characters was Twilight Princess.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even crazier than that, we're going on 10 years without a new Mario Kart. Anyways.
We are literally going on 10 years, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That game came out in 2014. We're fast approaching in fast as far as video games, the world of video games.
As fast as
concerned.
a cart.
As fast as a cart from the hit franchise Sonic R, where they don't use carts. There's other Sonic games where they use carts, so I fucked that up. We're fast approaching on the 10-year anniversary of Mario Kart 8.
With more DLC on the way.
You'd think that that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a brand new game. But no. They tricked you into buying the same game twice. And listen, I know, I bought it too. It's really fun. It's better than the Wii U version, obviously. Make a new one, though. Anyways, not the point. Not why we're here. But why are we here, you ask? Well, you see, if I go back to, oh, yes, okay, I did want to talk about this. So there was a Sony State of Play. That's their Nintendo Direct thing that they do. But it was all about the new Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 16. And it looks kind of incredible. It looks like... So I really liked 15. I know a lot of people didn't. Seems like this game fixes a lot of the issues people had with 15. The biggest one being the setting, because this game takes place in medieval times with swords and shields and
I feel like that's
the stuff.
I know almost nothing about this IP, but I feel like that's the classic Final Fantasy layout.
Oh
right?
yeah. Well, it was the layout of the first 6. I think the 5th one has an ancient Rome theme, but other than that, that's your traditional the first Final Fantasy game draws a lot of inspiration from D&D, But then with the 7th one, with Cloud and Sephiroth and all of them, they went with more a more modern not, I don't want to use the word steampunk because that's not what it is, but it's definitely industrial revolution type shit. And that's kind of what they that was 7 and 8, and then 9 was back to the original way, and then 10, as you've seen, is kind of a weird in between where it's there's technology, but it's also sort of high fantasy. It's weird. The setting of the new one is not the new one. The one we've been playing is definitely weird. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15, the setting was very strange, where you had a car and a cell phone and those were gameplay. But this one seems there's different factions of warriors, and all the factions have a summon that they worship.
Okay.
So your main character looks like he's gonna worship Ifrit, the one with the big fire, the one that comes out of the ground and shoots fireballs at people. And it looks really good. They were showing off people were showing off the same screenshot from when they announced this game to this new trailer, and it looks like so much better. Like, even though I didn't know it could, like, it just like it looks really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, Lingual says at this rate, a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons is gonna come out before a new Mario Kart game does.
Oh my god, I know.
I like 5. I don't. They can take their time on making 6.
5e.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like 5 too. I'm excited to see what they do with 6. I have a feeling it's gonna be more, user friendly, and a lot of people aren't gonna like that. I think I'm gonna like it. I don't know. I'm excited. Plus, I'm excited that they're doing this whole like D&D 1 thing where they're just basically like, hey guys, we're gonna just beta test 6 for the next 4 years. Give us any feedback you want across all of D&D.
Yeah. I don't know. 5 fits like a glove for me.
My biggest problem with 5 is magic. It's way too complicated still.
I'll give you that.
Actually, I'd say my biggest problem, I'd say that's my only problem with 5.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because we played 3.5, and that was kind of a mess.
Not my favorite.
Yeah, then you move over to 5, and it's like, oh, it can be simple. That's cool.
That's what I'm kind of hoping 6 is, where we're just like, wow, 5 was good, but it could be simpler.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't go too simple. If they do, we'll just go back to 5.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I like about D&D versus, like, Pokemon cards that just keep coming out. Like, they can take 10 years for 6, and you know what? If I don't like 6, I can play 5 for the rest of my life.
Right. But outside of just dicking around, you have to kind of, you have to play the new Pokemon sets.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you want to play competitively, if you want to play with somebody outside of your group of friends,
if you want to play the online version of the game,
yeah, you have to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But with D&D, I could just say, hey, random guy, friend, we're going to play D&D. It's 5e. You cool with that? Oh, okay, you are? Cool. Well, then I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Toga says, hey guys, I was running late. How's things? We're doing good. We're just talking about gaming news. We took a quick pitch stop to talk about D&D. Langwell says 6 comes out next year, supposedly. Wow, that's crazy. But it was also supposed to be 80% the same as 5e, just simplified and streamlined. Yeah, I might love 6.
Yeah, that sounds like what I would do with it. Like, don't change much. Change just enough that, like, that's everyone's problem with 4, right? They changed fucking everything. And they're like, this is better. And everyone was like, it's not better. But 5 is, like, basically 3.5, but better, simpler, like you said. So I think that's great. I think I'm with you. There doesn't need to be a 6. If 6 is what Mason is describing, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so the only other piece of news, anything else? No, just a matter.
We're getting notifications that people are liking our post on Facebook, which is cool.
Good for them. Thank you. The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League video game was delayed again. Apparently, the delays have nothing to do with the so they dropped like 14 full minutes of footage, and it looked just okay. Like,
yeah,
no one online is like, it looks so good. It looks fine. Apparently, the delay has nothing to do with the feedback they got from that footage. Apparently, it was going to happen anyways. But yeah, I don't know. It's not looking good for that game. Like, it's not looking bad for that game. It's just looking very Avengers for that game. I don't think anyone's gonna. I think it's gonna have a few fans, and those fans are gonna be really excited when new DLC drops. But I think no one's gonna really, like, the general audience isn't gonna really cling themselves to that game as much as they thought they would. And they're running into the same problem that the Avengers game is running into. They announced this game like 2021, I think, and now it's not gonna come out till February 2024 or some shit. And it's just like, this is the problem that Breath of the Wild almost ran into. You're hyping this up so much. If it's not the best game ever, no one's gonna care.
We always come at it from a new angle, so I don't feel bad talking about this topic again. But it's a double-edged sword giving a vague release for your game that you don't plan on hanging on to. And when I say double-edged, I don't mean there's a positive edge to either one. I mean, people are going to get too hyped for this game, and now you've put yourself under a lot of pressure that you don't plan on fulfilling anyways, so you look less professional because of it.
Because, like, delays are fine. Delays happen. Do you know how many, like, games probably suffered huge delays that we never even heard of?
Oh, I know.
Because the some issue was found in development before the game was even announced, and it's like, ooh, glad we caught that, and now we'll announce 6 months from now.
My argument, I'm gonna always fall back to this, is the film industry. Do you know how many? Can you name me one like name brand film, like A-list film, that got a public delay?
Only in the case of, like, the new Pirates movie is going to come out at the same time as Iron Man 1. We don't want to compete,
right.
So we'll move it back a week. Other than that, all the movies that end up getting, like, delays usually are pretty bad when they come out. Like, I feel like the outlier is the Atom Project. The Atom Project was delayed like 10 full years. And then it
that
finally
wasn't
came
even
out.
Delayed. That was in production hell, right? That
Right.
was like just not going to happen for a hot minute.
Right.
I would say even that's different than just a straight up. What I mean is,
The
so
public has a release date and then they change it.
Exactly.
I mean, no, I'm not going to sit here and go, no, I can't think of one. That was your question.
Yeah. Why can't the gaming industry do the same thing?
Oh, New Mutants. That's a great
Oh,
example.
sure. Actually, you know what?
New
got
Mutants,
me.
New Mutants had 5 different release dates, and then it came out, and it was a bad movie that stars really good actors.
But can you it's rare in the
rare.
film industry.
It's rare. That's why
incredibly rare.
That's why fans of X-Men, myself included, made such a big fucking deal about New Mutants. I still want this. I don't know how possible it is. I want a picture. I want a poster for every day. I want a wall of New Mutants posters. One that says April 21st, 2018. One that says, February 15th, 2020. I just want all of them.
But that's my point. Is you're sitting here. You're bullshit that they did that with New Mutants. It's expected in the gaming industry. Why? Why is it expected? Why is it acceptable? There's no reason they can't. Like, here's the thing.
No, I'm not saying it's expected. I will argue that it's acceptable to an extent. Like, I remember a very famous delay, a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 or whatever it's called, a game that was so fucking highly anticipated. It was like 2 months away from release. It got a month delay so they could, like, finish a few things. That's stuff like that. I feel like is pretty rare. I feel like when we talk about game delays, we talk about the Suicide Squad delay, where it's like it was gonna come out in October. It's currently April. Now it's gonna come out in February, where it's like enough time for me to be like, that's a long delay, but not enough time for me to be like, we almost had it.
I guess my point is, what am I trying to say? We hear in the film industry, like, we hear that they're making a killer Winnie the Pooh movie, and now that's leaked, and everybody's talking about that. But until there's an official release date, we're not sitting here like, I can't believe they talked about that and we haven't heard anything about it. It's like, well, once the release date's out, I know when that movie's coming out. Video games, I feel like they're like, that's right, the new Mario Kart 10 coming out. Here's the first footage of it. It's nothing. We just made a trailer. Coming out, that's right, 2028.
Well,
but not kidding, though. But just kidding, because once 2027 comes around, they're like, fuck, we're not ready. 2030. 2030 sounds better to us.
It's interesting you phrase it like that, because that the first part of what you said, you were like, announced a release date way before it happens, then it gets a bunch of delays. The first part of that is starting to happen in the movie industry. How, like, Deadpool 2 got an announcement like 3 4 years.
I don't like it.
They just released a trailer for the title of the new Godzilla vs. Kong movie. And that's not coming out until late next year.
See, that's not too bad to me. I think now I feel like the issue there. Now we're talking about films, but I feel like the issue there with Deadpool is it's no longer just Deadpool. Now it's part of the MCU. So like they're gonna tell us up until 2030 what they've got fucking planned.
Yeah.
So that's a whole animal itself. But which I'm kind of not digging. I don't like how we don't need to know.
Right.
That's kind of the boat that I'm in. Is like just give me the next year. Like
Yeah.
I'd love to know what's coming up, but like I don't need to know that Wolverine is in Deadpool
Right
3.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 years
I made a whole
before
video
it happens.
about that. I shit out a whole video about
This actually, if we can talk about that a little more for a second, this channel made a video all about the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 soundtrack like 3 years ago.
Well, that's Marvel's own fault because they canceled James Gunn and then they were like, actually, let's not do that. So now everything with that franchise is delayed. Mason says a pirate MMO that was supposed to come out in like 2010s. You were referring to Skull and Bones, which is
I remember hearing about that one.
And I regret to inform you, it's not an MMO. It's just a game. It's just Assassin's Creed Pirate Combat, the game. I believe it's out now. I think it like just came out, and everyone was like, "Neat." If I can bring it back to the original story,
Yeah.
My problem with the Suicide Squad game is that it looks pretty mid. It doesn't look fantastic. It doesn't look fucking terrible. But regardless, it got a huge delay, and I'm not excited for it. And I like remain not excited for it. Like I don't know. Like I feel like this game is gonna really take a hit because it was announced so long ago. It just got a new delay. The game is not gonna sell that good. I know it's not because everyone online is like, it looks fine, I guess. So, depending on how they handle review copies, like this game's not gonna sell a lot already on top of this huge delay because you and I aren't even talking about the people who are one step worse than us, where the second they hear about the delay, they're like, oh, well, fuck them. They don't get my money then, and they never buy the game. Those people are petty, but they exist.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A delay always hurts in that aspect. Maybe it'll make the game fantastic, and it'll be a really good game, you know?
Well,
that's always the goal. That's always the dream.
Yeah.
You delayed your game a bunch, and look, you made Breath of the Wild. Fucking no one has any complaints about that game.
It's all this to say it's part of the reason I don't pay attention to release dates for games.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this, but like when it comes to trailers and release dates, like I'll look at a trailer and I'll be like, this could not even be the game that comes out.
Right. I've gotten pretty good about like sniping which ones are gonna like stick true to their release date or not. A big surprise was God of War Ragnarok. They announced that game. They said it'll be out next year, and then it was. I was like baffled. I was like, I cannot believe this did not get like a 6-month into February delay. Like that was like the one outlier where I was just like, great, cool. You announced the game and then it came out and it's perfect. But I've gotten pretty good at like, especially with the advent of like indie games being more mainstream.
Yeah.
I've got pretty good.
I
at,
give
like,
indie games a huge break, by the way. Talking about all this conversation to say that two-man game developers, like I'm not throwing them in this whirlpool of shitting on AAA games that can't get their shit together.
No, that's completely different. No, but I've gotten pretty good at like predicting which games are going to stick to their release schedule. Because game development is hard. I can only assume it's really hard, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So if you have to delay your game, part of me is like, that really sucks. I'm sure it's super necessary, though, because look what happened to Cyberpunk. But then part of me is like, it sounds to me like you announced your game too soon in the grand scheme of things.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. With that, though, we always bitch about that. Should we move on to more news?
No, we should move on to what have you been playing?
Oh, I've been leveling up still in Elden Ring Fallen Order is what I wanted to say.
You're just hyped for that Fallen Order sequel.
I guess. Here's where I'm at with Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a juncture. I'm in that island. Like, you get teleported to that island. You burn the tree, and then she's like, "Now we're going here. Also, thanks for getting me this far. See ya."
You burnt the tree already?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's like the end.
Yeah.
Oh, when you say teleported to that island, do you mean the building that's like floating?
Yeah. It's like all broken up and.
Yeah. Okay.
I beat the dragon there, but there's another
like
boss.
Three-headed.
No.
One? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. The electric one. He's like hanging out on a roof.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Lots of game.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So have you made it to the Halig tree yet with Melania?
No.
Okay.
No.
But so you did Winterland, you fought the fire giant, you met her on the
Yeah.
tip of the Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Fire giant was a little bitch.
Really?
Yeah.
I struggled with him for like a good hour or two.
Oh, I probably no, actually twice. I fought him twice.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Well, here's where I'm at. So this keeps happening to me. I'm just at a standstill where I'm not strong enough to keep going in that, like you said, the broken up building.
Yeah.
I've gotten to a point where I need to level up more again, and I'm kind of fighting two fronts. So I'm fighting over there, but I'm also the Volcano Manor shit that I'm doing. I've made it to the big snake.
Yes.
And I can beat his first form.
Did you
I
find
can't beat his second form.
Did you find the fun, weird, big snack weapon?
Yes, yeah. I haven't used it. It's like a trident or whatever, right?
I don't remember.
It's
but
in that
like
room.
It's like a 3-hit kill on phase 1 or something like that.
Is it really? Wait, the one that's in that room?
Yeah, the weapon you get in that room is like you're supposed to use it for that boss.
Oh, okay. I'll
makes it-
have to remember that.
it
Do I have
makes
to
it-
level it up?
You should, but you don't have to. It makes it a bit easier.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. That is helpful because I got that and I was like every other weapon in that game, I'm like, neat.
Dude, I love that snake. I love that fight. I love his voice. I love the weird. I just love that fight.
No, it's a good fight. I feel like I've leveled up a shit ton. I've leveled up more in this game than any game I've ever done. I've grinded in this game more than I've ever grinded.
Have you fought, I forget his name, the Blood Omen? He's on like Blood Island and he's got like 3 forms.
What's he look like?
He's a big dude with a robe. He's like brother of one of the other dudes, and
he's like a chubby guy.
I don't know if he's a chubby guy. I think he's skeletal, but he has like a big, huge robe on. And he blasts you with blood. I think like a rain of blood.
Oh, I don't know. I fought a lot of guys who do stuff that sounds like that.
Yeah. No worries.
Morgoth, says
Morgoth.
Langwell.
Yes, Morgoth the Blood Omen.
Is he the one who hangs out at the tree?
No, the Halig tree is where Melania lives.
No. The Eldridge tree.
Oh, no. No.
Or whatever it's called.
That was Margit. That was his brother.
Then who's the first guy you fight at the castle? So I thought his name was Margit.
Oh man, I don't. He named them all. Which castle? The first castle? At
Yeah,
the very
first
game?
one.
Maybe that was Margit. I don't know. It's. I think 2 of them might actually have the same exact name. I can't quite remember.
That's lazy.
I apologize.
That's like one step worse than Saruman. Like you can't name them the same exact name. There's no reason for that.
Well, call up George and tell him that he did it bad.
I might. But that's what I've been doing. Still excited to get back to Pokemon. Here's where I'm at though too. I'll turn on the PS5. Here's where I'm at with Elden Ring. It's starting to lose me because it's just asking way too much out of leveling up for me. I'm more apt to watch a show than I am. Like I might even be in the mood to play a game, but I'll just be sitting there like, do I really want to level up in Elden Ring for an hour? I kind of don't. I'll just watch a show.
Sorry, I'm trying to. So Morgoth, the name Mason typed in chat is Morgoth the Omen King. He was at Langdell. Morgoth is the twin brother of Moog, Lord of Blood, who is on Blood Island and does all the blood attacks.
Okay.
And then Margit, the Fell Omen, is the first boss of the game.
Gotcha.
At Castle. Yeah.
Castle Windy.
Castle Elden Ring.
Yeah. Pauline says also tell George to finish writing Wednesday. No.
Yeah, I mean if you're gonna have him on the horn,
listen.
might as well tell him to finish.
It's pretty
Wednesday.
obvious at this point that's he wants that to be a swan song, right? He's like, just,
I don't know. Isn't this like the 5th book out of 8?
Oh, is it? Okay. That he's never gonna finish them if that's the case.
Oh.
I really thought this was the last one.
I don't know.
And that's why he was dragging ass
I
on
don't
it.
know. I was under the impression that this was not the end, and there was like a book or 2 left.
Then this dude, okay, if that's the case, if this is like not the end of this dude made enough money to the point where he was like, I can stop pretending I give a shit about this.
That's certainly what it feels like.
I'm
surprised if that truly is his mentality. I'm surprised he even said yes to writing Elden Ring.
Yeah, they must have offered him a lot of money. But like, you know what I mean?
Interesting. I wonder how much of the budget was given to George R. R. Martin for the writing. Probably not that much, like percentage wise.
I've really been sitting here though, like, oh, he doesn't. It could be a mix of he doesn't want his baby project to be like done, you know, that thing that he's been working on, his passion project his whole life. But then I was also like, maybe he's enjoying his 15 minutes, but it's not 15 minutes. That dude's going to be famous the rest of his natural life.
So here's what the internet says. The Winds of Winter was originally intended in the very early stages of the series to be the final installment of A Song of Ice and Fire, then conceived as a trilogy. Following his expansion of the series, Martin eventually concluded it would be succeeded by one final novel titled A Dream of Spring.
Okay, so he's got 2 more.
So so this is the 3rd book or the 4th book, and there's a 5th one coming out, or that that's not going to come out because he's very old.
Right.
But that's his dream, his grand vision for these books.
His grand vision is make a lot of money. Is where my head's at now.
He's done it. Probably.
Well,
right?
According to him, as far as he's concerned, he passed the finish line already. He's done. I always revert back to him fucking around in a giant bubble in the park. Have you ever seen that picture?
No.
It's like things George R. R. Martin's doing besides writing Winds of Winter. It's just him just like having a good time like in one of those giant things.
Good. That's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
Live your life. Don't let people tell you how many books you got to write. But maybe let you tell you how many books you're going to write.
Ooh, Langwell says they're already written. He's just going to release them yeah, I can never say that, so he doesn't have to hear.
I didn't even say it right.
That would be smart
play.
Of him.
That'd
also
be a power play for sure.
Well, you know what? Does he have kids?
I don't think so. I don't know though. He's old.
Because my thought is this dude dies, right? And then one, if not both of those books release afterwards, he's gonna sell at least 10 million more than he would have.
He's 74. If that's what you wanted to know. I just want to know if he has kids. Hold on. Nope. He's got he was married from 75 to 79, and he's been married to his current wife, Paris McBride, or husband, I don't actually know, since 2011. No kids, it looks like.
Interesting. That would be interesting if he was like, I'm gonna wait till I die for these to come out. Yeah, Mason might be right in that case. Just so he doesn't have to listen to people bitch about the end of his series.
Yep, no kids. Wait, sorry, saw something I didn't expect to see. Oh, cool. George R. R. Martin is in Sharknado 3, and he gets killed. Guess by what?
A shark. Or a tornado.
A Sharknado. Yeah,
yes.
It was a Sharknado.
Yes, okay.
So you were technically right.
Did I already ask how your week in gaming was?
My week in gaming has been fantastic.
Okay. Let's hear about it.
So I've been playing Loop Hero. Loop Hero is a game that I heard of, but I kept watching footage of it, and I was like, I don't know. If I'm gonna be honest, it looked pretty boring. It didn't look like I would like it. But they released it on Game Pass, the best deal in gaming, so it's totally free. So I was like, well, if it's free and less than 1 gigabyte to download, I'll play it. And I'm glad I did, because I really, really like it. So the way Loop Hero works is you're on a track.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a track of land. And your little dude moves on his own around the track. And whenever he encounters a monster, it opens up like a battle screen. And he also does the battle on his own. So what you manipulate is everything else. So every monster you fight gives you equipment that you equip to it, and you compare to your last shield to see if it's better or not. Or you get cards from a deck of cards that you have. Each card is a placeable location. So maybe you get like a forest, and it tells you exactly what the forest does. And what the forest does is every day it has a 50% chance of spawning 1 wolf. So you put the forest down, and then by the time you get back to the forest, there's like 2 wolves there.
Okay. But
then there's also other ways to manipulate the board. Like there's mountain tiles. You put down a mountain, and a mountain is +3 max HP. But every other mountain is plus like 6 more HP for every adjacent mountain to it. So you make a mountain range, you have a ton more HP. You don't really interact with that. That's like off to the side, just like modifying your stats, basically. But everything else you do to the board, and essentially you just put like monsters and like rewards and stuff like that. Like I have it now, so I have a village, and the way the village works is every time you walk through the village, you heal a bit, but they also give you a quest. And the way quests work is it just picks a random enemy on the board. That's your quest. When you kill it, you get a prize for the quest.
Okay, cool.
So it's stuff like that. So basically, the reason it's called Loop Hero is just because you go around the board over and over again. And
flat Earth mechanics. I gotcha.
The goal of the game is to gather resources. Now, where the difficulty comes is you can only leave once you get back to camp. So you start the loop at camp. You have to complete a whole loop, and then when you get back to camp, you can either do another full loop or you can leave with all your resources. If you die, you only keep 30% of the resources you gather.
Okay.
So I actually and then after you leave, you take your resources back to a village, which is also grid-based, and the village, you're essentially building the village based off of the resources, and the village ties back into this because it's like if you build this, you get this class and these 2 cards that you can add to your deck. So it all feeds back into itself. I actually fought what I thought was the final boss, but I was like, this couldn't possibly be. I've only been playing for like a day or 2. So I eventually put down enough stuff that my camp turned into like this crystal, and it was like surrounded by this castle. I was like, what is happening? And the castle is called a Lich's Castle.
Ooh, okay.
And I got all the way to the crystal, and it automatically brought up the leave screen, and it was like, I better get going. And I was like, I don't want to get going. I want to see what happens. I think I could do another loop. Little did I know, the crystal opens up. There's a Lich King inside. You fight the Lich King. I finally eventually beat him, and I was like, what happens now? And essentially the Lich King was like, no, I was supposed to win this loop. I'm supposed to win every loop. He's going to be mad at me, but they don't tell you who he is. And then you go back to the village, and you're like, I beat the Lich King. And they're like, I don't think you did, but sure, whatever. So it just keeps going. So I'm really interested to see what happens next. But it's like a lot of fun. It's really one of those games where like I started playing, I was like, oh, it just does it for you. Like it just walks around the thing, and it also does combat for you. Like this is kind of like, I'm not really seeing why someone would like this. And then I kept playing a little more, eventually got through the tutorial, started to figure a few things out, and I was like, oh, I like get it. Like, this is very fun, and I can see why. It's not a traditional roguelike, which is what I really like.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't follow, like, the formula that most roguelike, that, like, Hades and Binding of Isaac and Cult of the Lamb, like, that they all follow, which is an amazing formula, and it works every time. But this one is, like, so different, and once you, like, get down to it, it's just so, like, very clear what you're doing. Like, you're doing this part for resources, you take the resources back to this part, and then you do this. Once you do this, that makes this part better. And it's just like just like constant gameplay.
I could see that being formatted for an Adventure Time skin.
Oh, sure.
That's the vibe that I'm getting out of this game. I could see an Adventure Time map that you're running on. Maybe it was Lich King that sealed the deal for me.
Yeah.
But
no,
I don't know. It sounds fun.
They really make you, because the story is basically like everyone lost their memories, but they like remember a big grand adventure that happened, and the going theory is that it's the Lich King that is causing this memory loss thing. But I beat the Lich King, and the game is still going, so seemingly not that.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I haven't played a lot since. I'm curious to see like if there's gonna be a Lich King each time now. And also, I fucked up because I beat the Lich, and then I was like, I'll do one more loop, and then I died. So the Lich King drops its skull, and I didn't look this up. I could see it on the menu. What the skull does is you pay the skull to keep all your resources when you die once. But because I died on the run where I got the skull, I lost the skull, and it wouldn't let me like use it right then. So that kind of sucked, but it was my own fault. I literally like should not have done another loop, and I did. But yeah, it's cool. I have 3 classes. I have Warrior, Rogue, and Necromancer, and it was one of those things where I was like, is it really going to be that different? And it's like totally different the way they control, which is cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. It sounds like a fun time. Is this I'm trying to picture the layout of this game.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Should have led with that. This is an 8-bit, like, could run on NES style, like...
Side scroller?
No, top-down, everything on a grid.
Oh, interesting.
You're literally... Actually, let me get a screenshot of this, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This game also has been out for a while, I'm pretty sure. It just happened to... Oh, yeah, it came out in 2021. It just came onto Game Pass, and I was like, that means it's free. Here's a perfect screenshot of what I'm talking about. Let me just open it in a new tab so you can see the whole thing. Perfect. Yeah. So that's the loop. That's like everything going on in the background. That's
so this is like a whole Zelda map, like picture that I'm looking at, right? Like if you were to put the whole map of like the original Zelda game.
Yeah, except if you can see the mill, you can see the looping path. It's
littered
definitely
with
stuff.
But you don't. This isn't what you're looking at when you turn the game on. You're just looking at like a little portion of this.
No, this is what you look at the whole game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
This is the view the whole game. So your dude is small. That's what I'm saying. He literally goes around it on its own, and you only interact with everything else. Like everything on that. The game starts with just an empty loop. Everything on this picture, this player added later.
I see.
So all this forest, this river, all these mountains, all these lighthouses, literally everything. And if you can see, bottom center of the loop, there's a little white character. That's your dude.
Okay.
So everything is like really small scale.
Gotcha.
You can stop and like assess what you're doing whenever you want. But you can also, I found in the settings, you can shut off automatic stopping after fight and automatic stopping on loop. So I think the goal is to eventually like get a character that's so good at this game that it just goes around and around, and you like go to the dentist and let it go with no like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm really liking it. I'm glad I downloaded it because I wasn't gonna. I heard a lot of people getting hype about it, and I was like, let me look at it. I was like, oh, it looks neat. Like I like the aesthetic, but it doesn't look fun.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a blast. I can't stop playing it. Oh, also, I wanted to mention, I got fucked over by Power Washer Simulator.
Oh, really?
I was on this board. It was taking forever. It was super long. I've been on this board for like weeks. Just keep going back to it. Little did I know that was the last level in the game. That's why it was so fucking long. So I beat the level, and credits started. Credits ended, and I didn't get the achievement for beating the game. So I was like, that's interesting. Let me like look at some menus. So I noticed there was bonus missions. So I was like, oh, I must have to complete all the bonus missions to get this achievement. But there's other achievements that I was missing that are super easy to get now that I have free play mode unlocked. So I went to go do that real quick, and I didn't get that one either. There was like 2 really easy ones that I just kept like doing over and over again. I wasn't getting them. So I did some research. Apparently, the new update that fixed multiplayer, which I never use, made achievements all glitchy.
Damn.
So I hope I can get obviously if they like, because it's not typical that achievements get like turned off, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously if they turn them back on, I can go get those easy ones. But like, if achievements were off for a time, it sounds like I missed the only permanently missable achievement, which was beating the whole game.
Right.
So
unless you start over.
I really don't want to do that.
Right.
So hopefully. And you can't replay levels. You have to play them in free play mode. So even if it was like, just do the last level again and hit the credits and the achievement will pop, can't do that. So really not excited about that. Hopefully that, because I was doing great achievement-wise in Power Washer Simulator. I have 28 out of 40, and if this issue wasn't there, I would have like 33 out of 40 right now, because that's what I was going to do last night. I was like, oh, fuck, I beat it. I'll go wrap up a few achievements.
Yeah.
Can't.
Damn.
Didn't. Game said no. Speaking of games, shall we make one?
Yeah, let's make a game. I love making games.
Okay, so just as a reminder, this is the new list.
Yes.
But it is a few podcasts old, so there might be some. It's a low chance, but we might hit a duplicate. So how do we want to pick? How do we want to pick today?
Would chat like to pick a genre?
Yeah. Why doesn't chat pick a genre and then I'll randomly number select a IP from random.org?
Yeah. We'll wait a few seconds. First one to pop in.
But I should say, because
use it.
Not Farming Simulator, because that's the last one we did.
Right.
So not that one.
We'll give it a little longer. Anybody wants to throw a game genre in chat? If not, we'll pick it. That's fine.
Meanwhile, I will do this real quick. Have we done that? Seems like we have. Maybe we haven't.
All right. I'm gonna say it seems like. Oh, we got one. MMO.
Well, the random number generator at random.org. What? Oh, whatever. Okay. There was like a disclaimer at the top, but it was literally nothing. The genre that chat has picked is MMORPG, and the IP that... Sorry, I should be in front of the mic. That random.org picked for us was number 7, and number 7 is Scooby-Doo.
So a Scooby-Doo RPG?
A Scooby-Doo MMORPG, which means like World of Warcraft. Like thousands of people online at once in one server.
Okay, we could have some fun with this.
So I think with an MMO based off of a thing, and I think this is the issue that other licensed MMOs have probably run into. Like there was a Lord of the Rings MMO. Pretty sure there's a Star Trek MMO. Do we let people play as well-known characters, or is it a character creator type situation?
So that, yes.
I think that's the first hurdle.
Tell me what you think of this. So we got a Scooby-Doo MMO. What if Mystery Inc. has become an actual corporation? What if the gang are the CEOs? You know, give them whatever title you want. And they're hiring new recruits to go get the mysteries that they can't get to themselves. That is where you and every other person in the
Yeah.
server come into play. And I've never played WoW, but from my understanding, there's set missions in the game. You can choose to go do them, and you can form a party if you want to go do them.
Every MMO has like story mode, which
Yeah.
is like these are all the missions that everyone has. Once
Yeah.
you beat it, you might get credits, but obviously keep playing after you get the credits.
Yeah, I think.
And then from there, sorry.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
that's
from
fine.
there, most MMOs have survived well into their like 10s or 20s with expansions. How it's like, now that you did the main story of World of Warcraft, buy this expansion. There's 20 more missions,
Right,
and 2 more
right.
classes. And they just keep doing that over and over again. The latest World of Warcraft expansion was like not too long ago, I think.
I like that for story mode for this game, and I think we got a suggestion. I think we're gonna not go. I like the direction we're going in better. What I think just because we're down the rabbit hole too much at this point. But what if you're playing the villain/monsters trying to take Scooby-Doo?
See,
gang
yeah,
down?
I don't know if because here's where my head was at. I think that it doesn't matter which, we don't have to pick them now, but I feel like the main story mode, the main missions that you're doing, is like there's like one big bad guy from Scooby-Doo, you know,
Yeah.
of days past, and then literally every other expansion is a new, like this is the clown enemy expansion, and
Sure.
this is the cyber chase
Well, see,
guy.
tell me. I picture there could be one overarching villain, but I feel like there could be multiple missions, and I feel like each mission is in itself a contained episode of Scooby-Doo. Like you go to the haunted amusement park. That's one section of the map. You go to the Louisiana-style mansion with the haunted, with the mud ghost,
Yeah,
the swamp thing.
yeah.
But maybe it's all connected to one big bad who you reach at the end of the story mode.
Sure, but then barring that, I feel okay. So okay, yes, okay, actually yes. And like I said, we don't have to pick who it is now because Scooby-Doo doesn't really have one
Yeah,
villain.
yeah.
But obviously we'll pick one for this game. So I think I think I've just married our ideas together. There's one big bad. It's Scooby-Doo versus this dude, except it's not really the mystery gang because they're like we're in a future where they're super important and they have all these agents, and that's who you play. You fight the guy, you whatever. Leading up to that, all the missions are like grouped by episodes. I think this is for children, by the way.
Sure.
Every mission is grouped by episodes, where it's like these 5 missions are in this one location. You fight this super famous Scooby-Doo villain, and then you move on to the next one. I think the expansions are more of those.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think because my idea was like villain pack, and I think we can still do that, but instead of like we keep the big bad the same, and whether you beat him or not is up to you. Before you buy the expansion. But I think the expansions are like. Do you want to know how we can do this? The expansions are location based because I feel like that's how MMOs typically do it, anyways. Where it's like. Now, in March, if you pay $20 for the clown expansion, you'll get amusement park map.
Yeah.
An amusement park map is going to have 20 plus missions in it, and it's going to culminate in you fighting Clown Dude. And then here's a question though, and I think rather than like, because I think we have the structure down. What kind of a game is it? Like, is there combat, or is this like a strictly like puzzle solving mystery?
No, I think there's combat in the sense of I always like. Tell me if this makes sense. There's combat in a Mario versus Bowser sense of combat. They never actually do skin-to-skin combat, but there's a way to beat them.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Bowser's always in a contraption or he's doing something, and you have to hit back bombs or something
Oh,
like that.
I see. You're rather than like
It's not a beat 'em up type of situation, but there
it's
is
also
combat.
like so rather than your typical MMO, which is like I hit this spell and then in 20 seconds I'll get to hit this spell again. You're imagining like a traditional Mario or perhaps even Sonic boss level where you have multiple of your friends, and it's one of those things where it's like hit these 3 things, then Bowser will get stunned.
Right,
and
exactly.
You hit him with one fireball, and he's like, "Whoa!" On
Yeah.
to phase 2.
Exactly. And I
Okay.
think leading up to that like boss battle is a bunch of puzzle
Yeah,
solving stuff.
I think the intermediate, like not intermediate, but the like the missions leading up to the combat missions. Maybe there's a combat section here and there, but I think most of it is going to be like I'm imagining like Phoenix Wright style pixel hunting, where it's like here's an image, figure out what's wrong with it, or like. And I'm also trying to keep it kid friendly, right? So like a lot of MMOs do this thing where it's because most MMOs are strictly combat based, right?
Mhm.
So they'll have this thing where it's like mission 1, walk here, good job. Mission 2, go collect 3 flowers. They're here. There's no enemies there. I've done it. Bring them back to me. Mission 3, go kill 4 things. And it basically proceeds like that, getting more and more difficult. And I think instead of that, we could I think we could definitely have the like go collect a couple things in there from time to time, because that's kind of an MMO staple. But I think more often than not you're gonna be like looking for clues, or like or if you've ever played the Batman games, doing like detective vision, like following the trail of somebody. Yeah, no, I like that. I think it's cool, and I think that I mean, good news, the name writes itself. But I think that test. Am I? Oh, I was looking in the wrong place. Okay, sorry. I think that this will lend itself well to multiplayer, because the whole point of an MMO is like you and 5 friends get together.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's parties of 5. I think whenever you sign on, obviously you can choose your party members, and it doesn't have to be the same 5 people. Like if
but
me
also
and
you can go it alone, I assume.
yeah, why not? Keeping it kid friendly though. Maybe
No voice chat.
that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of not fun.
I think well, no, we'll just do what Final Fantasy 14 does, where there's an open chat that anyone can chat in, and then there's private chat. If you say a no word, it'll get censored. And if you want to do voice chat, you fucking go on Discord with your friends. Figure it out yourself.
Okay. All right. Hit us with that name.
Oh, Scooby-Doo the MMORPG.
Fair enough.
We could get creative if you want, but this is the my least favorite part of it. And
instead of Scooby-Doo, because thus far Scoob is not a playable character.
True.
What if it was Mystery Inc.?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's technically like you're part of Mystery Inc. That's what the game's about.
I think a small change. I kind of like if Incorporated is spelled out.
Yeah.
Mystery Incorporated, a Scooby-Doo MMORPG.
I'll accept it.
Okay. Let me write it. Let me write it in the format that I was doing it last time.
There you go. A quick little 15-minute video game. The Mystery Incorporated Scooby-Doo MMORPG. So enjoy that. Enjoy the fact that that exists in the world, except not really.
Just as a reminder, I like to refresh everyone's memory. The last thing we did was called McDonald Land Hamburger Patch Harvest. And it was a
Oh,
McDonald's.
it was so cool.
It was a McDonald land farming simulator where you can date.
Yes.
The end. And that's gonna do it for this podcast. But don't go. Don't leave.
Wait, quick quiz. What's my favorite real life MMO?
Your real life MMO? Oh, like one we didn't make up?
Yeah.
What's your favorite MMO? Well, I don't think you've ever played any of them. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you've never played one. I'm going to say that your favorite MMO is... I'm just trying to think of the Wonk. Fusion Fall.
That's right, Toontown. So anyways,
Oh, is
we'll
Toontown
see.
technically an MMO?
Yeah.
You know, I was close. Fusion Fall is the Cartoon Network MMO.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
one where they're like, what if Dexter was old and also hot?
Anyways, with that thought, that is the end of this podcast. If you're watching live on Twitch, stick around. We have another one coming up right now, immediately.
Speaking of... Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcast video essays, Let's Plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.